Hello everybody, I'd like to do a quick review from our last lesson on chordate characteristics. So if you could try to name them as I go through them. The first one is they have to have a dorsal hollow nerve cord. They have to have a notochord, which is more rigid. They have to have those gill slits. They have to have muscle blocks. And then the fifth one they like to add in there is that post-anal tail. So remember, this is what becomes your spinal cord. This is what becomes your vertebrae. This can become gills or lungs. Of course, you know what muscles are. And then, of course, post-anal tail. And remember, that just means they have to have these sometime during their life. Obviously, we don't have gills. We don't have a post-anal tail. They just have to possess it sometime during their lifespan. Okay, so the two invertebrate chordates that we went over last week are the sea squirt or the tunicate, which is in the subphylum Chordata, and then the other one was the Lancelet, which is in the phylum Cephalochordata. So here's just a picture of those. Remember, this is the sea squirt. This is him as a larval form. This is him as the adult form. And I just remember this one because this is the one that doesn't have a head. So it is not Cephalochordata. And the only thing it retains during its lifetime as it becomes an adult is the gill slits. It loses everything else. The Lancelet, on the other hand, keeps those five chordate characteristics its entire life, and it looks the same from the time that it is a larvae up until it's an adult. Okay, so the group that I wanted to start on today are our fishes, and I only want to do one group today, which are our jawless fishes. So it's not going to be like a shark or a tuna or a fish like that. Agnatha literally means no jaw. So these are the most primitive of all vertebrates. They keep their notochord their entire lifetime. And the only two types that are alive today are a lamprey and a hagfish. So let's go over the lampreys first. Here's its scientific name. They are found in estuaries from Maine to Florida, so you could find these in North Carolina estuaries. They're parasites, so as you can see in this picture here, these two lampreys are feeding off of this fish. And if you look really closely, there's a scar right there where a lamprey had been attached previously. So it's a parasite, very similar to a leech or something like that. But it seems a little bit more painful because this is the inside of their mouth. Notice there's no jaw. These are teeth-like structures, and then they have a tongue that comes out here that goes back and forth like a rasp. So it bores a hole in the side of the fish, and then they can suck out blood and other nutrients from that. And very similar to mosquitoes, they have enzymes in their saliva that stops the blood from clotting, so they get a nice continuous flow of blood. And unlike other fish, they have no scales, and they can do something that, like salmon can do, they can come up in freshwater rivers and stuff to breed and then head back out to the ocean. So they can adapt to freshwater as well. Okay, the other one that I wanted to show you is a hagfish, and these are entirely marine and they kind of hang out on the bottom. They're scavengers, so if they find things that are dead, that's what they'll eat. And if there is an organism that's almost dead, it'll go ahead and start to feed on that too. So what they do is they avoid predators by they deter predators by creating this slime, and I'm going to try to attach some videos so you can see that. They tie their body into a knot to remove the slime from their gills and things like that. The two examples are the Atlantic hagfish, which would obviously be in our neck of the woods, and the Pacific hagfish. So this picture here is the Atlantic hagfish. And again, I will attach some videos there so you could see that. So just to review, class Agnatha, which means no jaw. These are fish, okay, but they don't have scales and they don't have like the traditional spinal cord. They keep their notochord their entire life. So you've got hagfish and then you've got lampreys. Lampreys are also trouble because they're starting to invade the Great Lakes, and they are eating a lot of fish and stuff outside of there. And if I can find my assignment that goes along with that, I will attach it for you to do that. So I hope you guys are well. These are jawless fishes. Email me if you have any questions.